Okay, we're going to give it a shot. So if you want to hang around, I would love to visit with you about this idea. It's Klangfarbenmelodie. It's a German word. Klang is sound, Farben is color, and melody is music or
Mm,
melody. And so, this idea of having the flexibility and the skills to infuse our words with the thing that they mean. So that when I sing about red, we're going to sing about red, but um, but if I sing about a flower, if I sing about a red flower, oh, this is interesting. Talk about subconscious right there. I just picked these up for myself yesterday because I haven't had flowers in forever. And Missy deserves some flowers. So
mm,
if I'm going to sing about the red flower, I can tell you about a red flower. I can even describe the red flower. So the red flower has lots of green petals. It's red. It's kind of like a tubular shape. It has some gold outlines on it and some spots, and it's really pretty and it means a lot to me. So I can give you that. And I've told you the words. I've given you the words that describe it, but there's this red flower and it has all of these different shades of red. Thank you. And it also has pink. And do you hear how I infuse my own energy into the words that I'm using, into the vocabulary that I'm using? So I'm experiencing in my life how this is part of why my expression is the way that it is, and my words come across the way that they do. Partly what I do, and sometimes it's difficult, I think, as a listener, but hopefully it also my pausing to get clarity in myself, to like check in with myself. What is the real truth? What really is my emotion? What really is my experience? Checking in with myself for accurate words and the energy that I want to infuse them with. So, what do they mean to me? How can I express that? How can I give my words energy not to cause you to have a specific experience, not trying to manipulate anyone else, except for this, as much as possible, to express through words, because that's our primary way of expression until we get telepathic with each other. And telepathy is all about energy, right? So trying to use my words and infuse them with my energy, not to make you have an experience, but to help share mine and to invite you into experiencing my experience. And this is what I'm trying to do. And I feel like there's a treasure in here. Klangfarbenmelodie. Saying our words with the energy we want them to embody in this moment. I love that smile. I love that. What? Tell me. You can tell me I'm crazy or tell me whatever. Tell me, Noelle, what's that? Because I love that energy.
But I'm listening to you, and I used to have this boyfriend, and he would always say, literally, literally. And I'm just like, it's literally. Like, it's just literally. Like, why do you have to be like, literally, like, And I'm just like, and I hear people say literally like that, and I'm just like, so it's just hearing the words spoken, and I'm just like, I can feel the difference. Also, I can feel the difference in like a pretend, literally, you know what I mean?
Oh, such a great statement, because it's totally true, right? This is the thing. Whether it comes through, cuts into our consciousness or not, or it just, we know the difference. We know that our bodies, our energy fields, if not our minds.
This is so funny. I mean, because I have a nephew and there's boys around me,
Okay.
boys, right?
Uh-huh.
And they lie constantly. And I look at them and I go, that's your life face right there. And they're just like, no. And they're like trying to hide their smile, and then it comes out and I'm like, I can tell you're lying. Like, so yeah, yeah, there's a lot in the voice. Oh God, there's a lot in the voice. Oh my God.
Exactly. So much. Which is why we're here seeking our freedom.
And
Yeah.
sorry, also when I was listening to you, I'm like I look at my reels. I create reels, right? And just talk about topics. And now I'm gonna look at them again differently.
How so?
To see if I am where am I speaking from?
Ah, mm. What's
Because
the difference?
sometimes for me, sometimes these exercises are so hard, like the one we did with Garen on Monday about feeling it and from the body. And I'm like, I have visions. I'm a feeler. I'm a feeler. I'm a feeler of the outside in, maybe. I don't know. I'm a feeler anyways, but
Mhm.
when we were doing the exercise to do the sounds
Mhm.
that come up, I I have to see it. And I'm like, is yes, there's the part of the mind that thinks. There's also the part of the mind that is the creative or the imagine or whatever. So I had to like decipher, is this coming from my mind? But it's a vision. It's not a thinking. So, and then I was like, but this is a part of my body, you know? And I just imagined him saying it was coming from this part of the body, this body,
Right.
not like the mind, but the mind is part of the body. And it has, for me, as a body worker, the mind and the heart are connected. Uh, the gut, I'm sorry. Well, we're all connected, but the gut is the mind. The brain has the same matter as the gut, right? So that's why we have a gut instinct because it's connected and it feels each other or it feels the energy
Yeah.
it just feels. It knows.
Yeah.
And I just completely lost my thought. Sorry.
It's okay. I'd like
What
to,
I'm speaking, sometimes people would think I'm speaking from my mind, but I feel like the parts that sing go together unconsciously
yeah.
in nature.
Mhm.
I feel like mine are together at times working like that. So it's like my heart is my mind. You know what I mean?
That may be uh, the difference between the human mind and the spiritual mind.
Mhm. Yeah. But the point is, I think it's so practiced that it becomes one. So when I'm speaking, it's speaking from my heart, like
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. I
Like,
hear you. I have a similar experience, and that line can be really hard to discern, I think.
yeah,
And yeah, because I know that I experience that. I can use all of my skills. I've got I've got great skills. And I can tap into energy and I can create a real experience that isn't that it's perceived as real because it's real, but it doesn't mean it's actually my deepest truth.
hmm
And I think that may be the difference.
yeah,
And for me, that's a matter of being sure that I take the time to separate. I take the time to refocus my mind into my physical experience. And actually, it's not even my physical experience so much as it is my energetic experience. Because I think I've got, I have studied human design some. So I have a consistent channel to spirit and intuition. So it's always there. I can take it for granted because it's always there. It's a matter of degree of how much I tap in or how much it gets to me, right?
yeah.
Um so that being true, I can very easily focus on what's going on out here or other people's energy and not be connected to my own energy at all
hmm
because I also have an open solar plexus.
hmm hmm
So I reflect other people's energy and I have to be really careful to tell the difference between what's somebody else's and what's actually mine.
hmm
And with all of that influence, it's really easy for me personally to think I'm in my heart, but I'm really not. And just learning to discern that energy and to discern my energy and not feel pressured to fulfill somebody else's expectation for my experience. That's one of the dances that I'm learning personally.
Good dance.
Yeah, cool. What you got, Miss Unique?
Yeah, I'm just taking everything in. My body is just like, yeah. I'm slightly understanding what you're saying, I feel. And with what you said, Noel, that literally, I was like, wow, okay. Because I was like, I was with you, and then I was like confused, and I'm like, no, you're not. You know what's going on. So I'm just like piecing it together. But like, I guess with the red flower, or like I have basil in front of me and rosemary, just really placing that energy behind the word, and it's not a different language. I don't know why I thought it would be a different language. I think because it's the German word
Yes,
of
yes,
what you're saying. So I was like,
yes, 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 yes. Sorry about that part.
that's okay, that's okay. And I was like, this is cool. And like rosemary, I mean, my brain can't fully, because it's like my logic taking in, right? Trying to understand when it has nothing to do with my logic, it has to do with my spirit. And rosemary to me, it means so much. But then to try to put that into the word,
Right,
I feel like, I guess I'm not understanding the how. It's still my logic, but just it means so much more to me than like the little word rosemary. So like,
right.
yeah, I'm still with the how. Like
You,
rosemary. I mean, I don't know.
but what and to have the capacity for it to be in the moment, you see, because this moment and what it means and what I want to express, what I want to infuse in this moment, what I'm focused on in this moment is different from 5 minutes from now. Because it's a different context, it's a different experience. And I love what you just said. It gives me a chance to share this as well. Words are absolutely powerful. And like everything, this great tool also has a great weakness, because and words are tools because they're labels, and we understand this, right? We understand this when it's in a negative context. We don't understand that it's universal, because what we've done as humans is we've used language, we've created patterns of sounds to represent experiences and objects and energy. But by the very virtue of putting a label on it, now we're lazy because we think that the word is enough. But the word isn't. The word isn't the thing. It's a representative of the thing. And it's a representative of the thing the way I've experienced the thing. And my experience is different from your experience. So the word is what we have for communication, to represent experiences to one another. But it's not the energy of the thing. And I loved, there was one time in particular when you said rosemary, and I felt the love that you have for rosemary. And that's the thing. That's all. And it requires a more mindful approach to communication, a more mindful approach to our voice. And to me, again, it's not about trying to influence, because when you hear somebody, oh, audiobooks, y'all, audiobooks, okay? We know, right? They're the ones that are just they're saying the words that are on the page, and this is what happened, and blah 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 blah, and they're saying all of the words, and then there are the ones that are saying all of the words, and la da 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 na 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 na, and you're like, oh my god, I cannot listen to either of those. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting, either intellectually or emotionally, and I can't do it. Because they're trying, the one is just trying to get through the job. And the other one is trying to force me to have a specific experience. They're trying to force me into an experience. They're trying to lead me. They're doing what they're told storytelling is. But I'm like, experience the thing. Just share with me your experience as you experience it, and let that be communicated in your speech, in your energy, and I will follow you anywhere. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, and I think now I'm understanding and piecing it together with Noelle speaking about your heart. Like, that's the difference. If it's a heart cohesive, energetic expression in vocal, whatever word you're saying,
Yeah.
it sounds different than just reading it right off of the page, like from your logic brain versus your heart brain, is what I'm gathering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what explains your experience, because that's where you get the energy from your heart to explain whatever it is that you're talking about.
Yeah. And then with the freedom and the freedom, the energy flow, the commitment to be vulnerable and transparent, and to actually put energy into the expression of it, if that also makes sense. So they can be the accurate words, but they're not necessarily shared with commitment to their truth and to expressing, this is my truth. And that I'm inviting you to experience that this is my truth. Which is where the body comes in, right? That's where those other tools and skills that we're practicing come in. Miss Noel's she's getting tickled again. Okay, come on, share.
I mean, it's just now I look at the situations where I'm like, I knew they were lying. I knew this was that. I knew this was that. And you can just feel it in the words, in the whatever, you know? You can feel the non-commitment, the non-promise, you know, in certain things. I think this goes back to too also, I don't know if you guys saw Jacob's thing 2 Tuesdays ago, really got me. It's like tracing the sensations. So it's like, where is it coming from? Like truth versus story. And ha there's an underlying, like for me, when I traced my sensations, there was like, I'm not patient, I'm not kind, I'm not listening. And then I was like, under that, it was like, oh, there's fucking responsibility. Like, shit. I don't want to be patient and kind and listen because then I'll have to be responsible. There's just the what's behind it.
Yeah.
What energy is behind the what wind? You know, is it a storm? Is it a whatever? And yeah.
And whatever disturbance there is in the energy communicates, even
Because
if
it's a
it's
vibration.
subconscious.
Because the word is a vibration.
Yes. And if it's inconsistent, if it's integrity, out of integrity in that respect, it's not true to its truth.
Yeah, you can hear, you can kind of like feel where it's out of key.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a weakness in that. I mean, there's the internally or externally, and it causes, anytime the pattern is not perfectly, Garen uses the word in harmony, anytime the pattern has noise in it, and that's a
Mhm.
word I like to use to understand. Anytime the pattern has noise in it, it's a weakness, it's a disturbance, and it shows up in our manifestation, in our experience.
Oh my God. Because, you know, so you know how we grow up in these families and these situations and environments, and we're like so used to it, it's just normal. Like,
Yes.
I am gonna now listen to my parents differently because, you know, they're the closest ones, and it's like what I know or I think I know.
Uh-huh.
Now I can listen to them differently and be like, because it's easier with other people because I don't know them, you know?
Yeah.
Mm. This is so weird.
Well, and and what you're talking about is very interesting, and I notice that I do that, and I turn it off. I mean, sometimes it activates itself. It's so obvious, but sometimes it's really subtle, and I don't catch it, and because I'm trying to not be hyper aware of everything except my internal, right? I'm trying to bring my energy back to me. This is my responsibility. My energy is my responsibility. Point. Listening to other people's energy. Um, oi, totally got lost. So sorry. I had a thing, but the integrity. Oh, bringing it back to ourselves. Bringing it back to our truth. And sometimes we're in an emotion that we think is our truth. But just like you were just saying, you had to get a couple layers deeper. And there you found the actual truth. You found the actual truth that you're prepared to face and accept and acknowledge right now, today, where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that will shift your stabilized vibration. And then it's possible you'll revisit it and you'll have another layer of revelation at another time. But for right now, this is the noise that we're able to hear, discern, and address.
Yeah.
That's the work that we're doing together in our other container. It's finding our noise, those things that are not our truth, and addressing the noise so that we can speak our truth with pure tones. And be committed to that, and have skills and know how we want to represent ourselves.
Right. Yeah. That feels great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm ready. Head out into my day.
Yeah. I love your curtains. We used to have curtains like that. The green or yellow.
Yeah.
I
They're
think we
yellow
have,
and gray.
oh, they're gray.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a new rendition of the ones from like this 70s, 80s, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not mine. So
Ah, it reminds me of these. We used to have some just like that, but
cool.
green and yellow.
Cool, cool.
Thank you so much. This has been